What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Airborne in the house, dropping you guys latest and greatest cryptocurrency news and updates. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday night. I'm doing a special live stream tonight with Duncan from the super. Oh my god, I can't even talk tonight. SuperRareBears. Oh my gosh, it's weird when I go live because usually when I film and it's a lot different. But yeah, we got Duncan from SuperRareBears coming on tonight. Should be a great stream. Got some questions to ask him. I know we've been trying to go back and forth, trying to get each other on or do a Twitter Spaces or something like that. But you know, the SuperRareBears collection's been doing pretty good the last couple weeks or so. A lot of volume. We're seeing lots of activity. So it's good to bring, you know, one of the experts on here just to talk about the project. Maybe you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and then we'll try to get those questions answered for you guys. So before let's just jump right into it. Let's bring him in. And here he is, Duncan Twig, aka Real Pro Eagled. How's it going, man?
It's going well, man. I've been looking forward to speaking to you some time, man. The team, not just myself, but the team, we're interested, and we keep an eye on your material, and we're big fans on it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for coming on. So yeah, I always have every guest that I have come on, just kind of like tell a little bit about your background, how you got into crypto, how you came up with SuperRareBears, or how you stumbled across the team. So the floor is going to be yours. Just let me know. I'm sure everyone else is curious too.
Awesome. So I got into crypto by Bitcoin. My buddy kept telling me to invest into Bitcoin, and that was something else that, you know, I had a home at the time that I owned, and I had a retirement, and with our 401ks here in the States, they kind of divvy out their plans and invest into this and that with your money. And I wanted to say so. So I wanted to do something with my money. I wanted to find an investment to put it into. Cryptocurrency, very late into the game for myself, but it was early enough, and it's never too late. Like you're seeing different numbers all the time. You're seeing movement all the time. So I jumped into it and bought some Bitcoin. It was around COVID time. So but that stuff crashed all the way to like 3,900 or 3,600. So I put a couple of $1,000s into Bitcoin, and I was really excited about it. And then my buddy from Las Vegas was talking to me about Elrond, and nobody knew what Elrond was here in the States. We started looking into it. It was probably about a penny per one token, per one ERD. This was before they swapped into eGold. So I bought a whole.
Right?
What's that?
Was this before 2020 then, or?
No, this was right about 2020. So it was still ERD at the time.
Gotcha. Because that's when I first started to hear about it, because I was a part of the Voyager community, you know, the Voyager exchange. And we had one of the guys, Obi-Wan, his name is, he was the one that introduced me into Elrond. So that's when I first started to hear about it.
Yeah. He might actually be a member of the Telegram community and the traders chat. But speaking of which, like, there's so many different ways that you can get involved into crypto. You could do the X app, you can get on Telegram, you could do Discord. There's many ways. It's a pick your poison kind of thing. So I joined their Telegram app. I knew nothing about Telegram, jumped into it, joined the traders chat, spoke with people named Behind the Facade, and there was Margarita Pause, and Dr. Elrond was fishing around, and there was so many good people that had knowledge on the topic. So I wanted to learn about it, and I already jumped. I took my whole savings account and I made my investment, and I bought into Elrond at the time, and it turned out to be a good investment because it was extremely early. Then they did the token swap. Then that inflated number that I saw before turned out to be not as many tokens as what I was hoping, but it was around the same, same dollar amount. And that's sort of what got me going is my buddy told me, hey, you're kind of wasting your time and you're wasting your money if you're just sitting on it. You might want to do something with it. So this wouldn't be advice to anyone else. Obviously, I think that was actually a pretty bonehead type of move, is just not to know anything about something and throw all your money at it. So I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. Actually study about this stuff, learn about it. If you're curious with it, dabble with it. If you grow more interest, then jump on in and enjoy.
Definitely. Now, was this kind of like your first big investment in crypto? Like, did you have any experience in the stock market, like did you do any other type of investments, or did you just go all in with crypto once you
No,
first heard about
traditional market. It was something that bored me, and I'd hear
it?
people talk about it, and it was something that just I wasn't wrapping my mind around. And the concepts are quite similar to crypto anyway. You got markets moving up and down, right? So it's what are the hot commodities? What are people interested in too? There's hype behind this project or that project just as much as there's hype behind this name brand or that name brand when you're investing in the traditional market. But I just stayed away from it. So no experience with that at all. This was my first major investment besides purchasing a home.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's kind of how I got in, because I never really invested into anything until I was like 27, 28 years old. And that's when I first got into crypto. My cousin, he was a software developer. He, I guess, was in the know. He always knew about like Bitcoin and like digital stuff back in like 2014, 2015. And this was the tail end of my military career in the Army. I was getting out, and he's like, you should look into XRP. So he started telling me about XRP and Bitcoin. So I downloaded the original Binance app, was the original thing that I first got. And I remember buying XRP. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin. And then the one thing I spent, I think it was like $300 on, was Litecoin. And this was right before when the 2017 bull run kicked off. So I think this was like October 2017, I want to say. And then I threw, I don't know how many I had, but I threw a couple $100 on it when like Litecoin was like $50 at the time or something. And then it ran all the way up to like $350. And I was like, whoa, what is this digital stuff? I just made a whole bunch of money. So that's what initially caught my eye. And that's how I initially got into crypto. And then I ended up downloading Coinbase. I started looking into it more. I got into a lot of Cardano. I had a huge bag of it back during the time. And at that time I was working for Amazon. I was like a warehouse manager, and they gave us a lot of stock. So what I eventually did was all that stock they gave me, I cashed out and I put it straight into crypto.
I don't believe that's too bad of a move at all. Like, I mean, if you've been learning about it and you were interested in it to begin with, like you kind of knew what you were doing right at that point.
And I was an early degen. I had a lot of Dogecoin. I remember buying Dogecoin at like 0.0024 of a penny.
Oh, wow.
And at one point, and I tweeted about this, I don't know, years ago or something, last bull run, I had 350,000 Doge at one point. And I think it like went up to 0.0076. I remember like cashing it all out. And this was like, I was like, oh my God, if I held on to that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like the bull run was like over $400,000. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's the story of crypto though, right? Is all these, there's opportunities that you miss. There's opportunities that you kind of pull out too soon, or you stay in too long, but it's all a learning experience at the end of the day. Like you kind of get the gist of things as you're fishing along with it. You kind of pick up on those motions. So like, I don't know, myself personally, like I'm not waiting for anything to get too large. I'm looking at overall just percentages. And, you know, it's not about the dollar amount. It's more so about the percentage. And then that's when I want to kind of take some. I want to take a percentage from it and, you know, throw some in savings, throw some in stable coins for my next investment to further my position. Like there's just smarter ways of handling things, and you learn over time.
Oh yeah, definitely the last bull market I've learned a lot. I got pretty wrecked bad, but I mean, I had a lot of crypto on Voyager, and we all know what happened to Voyager and Celsius and FTX. Unfortunately, I had a lot of the crypto locked up, and I only got like a third of it back or whatever. And we might get some more back, but I'm not praying on it. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm just kind of, you know, reinvested what I initially got back and then keep moving forward type of thing.
Oh yeah.
But
2021
was crazy, man. I remember like the NFT boom. And this leads to my next question. What was your first NFT? Like, how did you first hear about NFTs? I know you're SuperRareBears or whatever, but were you into NFT projects? Did you hear about it before you got into SuperRareBears?
I wasn't interested in NFTs at all. I didn't want a single thing to do with them. To me, they were just they were monkey pictures, and they were pictures. You know, it's common saying that they're just monkey JPEGs, right? But to me, I really felt that way. Nothing was special about it to me. When people would speak about utility, I'm like, sure, let's see it happen, and then maybe I might show a little bit of interest.
Yeah.
So I kind of broke down. It was a cheaper NFT for me. It was affordable for me. So it was an independent artist, and she was creating these these portraits of some sort of famous celebrities or public figures. And I'm a diehard Kobe Bryant fan, and she had a classic picture that she drew up of Kobe Bryant, and that was my first NFT. Was to make sure I got a Kobe Bryant NFT.
That's awesome. What network was it on? Was it?
That was on here. That was with MultiversX back when it was Elrond.
Was it a whole project that they launched, or was it just like
no? She never really had a project name, but she consolidated all of her individual pieces of art in just one collection. There wasn't a name to it really.
Gotcha. Huh. So you got into that, and then how did SuperRareBears come along?
So there were a few people that kind of talked me into it, and they were kind of competing with each other to see who would buy more. And I'm very competitive, so I wanted to get involved with it. And next thing you know, I'm buying like one person has 100 and another person has 150. So I wanted to stop the competition, so I'd buy 300. There's no way they're going to top that. And then they would buy a bit more. They would buy a bit more. I would buy a bit more, and it got crazy. So I ultimately lost. There was no way that I was going to buy that many of them, and I still had a crazy amount, more than I cared to actually invest. And then I kind of felt like I was stuck with it, and I was stuck with these bear pictures. I didn't quite understand it, but then I joined their Telegram. And I realized that, there were a few people in there that were very, very, very talkative. And I had questions for them. And every question I hit them with, they had an answer for. I wanted to know where the future was, what direction was it going to go, and what were their plans, what were they going to do with this? And they shot their ideas back, and they said, well, here's a roadmap. Now, in what order we're going to complete these, we have no idea. But this is what we target for, the end of the quarter.
Now, what time frame was this? Not to cut you off. Like, what time was this? Like the end of the bull run, like in end of 2021, or when exactly did the project launch? Do you remember?
This was before the bull run, so I'd say it was around October of 2021.
Okay.
So that's when they started their project, and these guys were buying these NFTs right at the beginning of their project. So. I got into it right as they were starting, and while people were these NFTs were super cheap too. So they were allowing NFTs to mint at discounted prices at first, just to try to see if there's going to be traction and interest from a community. And then that kind of blossomed, and once that phase ran out, they sold it a little bit higher, and then they went to the final phase where they sold it at what the price that they intended for it to mint at. And that was at 0.99. Okay. But then they started allowing people to use not just their EGLD tokens, but they allowed people to use their locked MEX. Okay. So you could trade locked MEX for these tokens. And, looking back at it, it turned out to be a heck of a deal if you're using locked MEX, because they're 0.0, like 4 or 5 zeros and a 7 now. So, these people got these crazy full of utility NFTs that we never knew that they were going to be this big, and we paid pennies for them. So when you see people selling at 0.35 or 0.45, you're like, that's not even a full EGLD.
Right.
But these guys are profiting major from that anyway. So, in the end, it all kind of makes sense. It's, what investors do with it and the floor price. Our team, we don't create that. It's the community and it's the investors that handle that. So there's more demand. Of course, it's going to be higher. If there's not so much demand, you're going to see it sink lower. It's a battle.
And that's one of the things with the SuperRareBears that I love is the community. And like you said, if it launched, you said around October 2021.
Correct.
That the end of the bull run was December 2021. I think it was November 15th or 14th is when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. And then we were literally in a bear market for 2 years, a year and a half or whatever. And you guys were building, the community was strong. Like, it was absolutely insane. Like, you guys were the only ones that most of those NFT projects that I was a part of or I invested in or whatever in 2021, all the hype, they all just slowly fizzled away. Like they had great communities and then like everything just kind of fizzled away. It was just the weirdest thing. But SuperRareBears just kept going. They kept innovating. They kept like, how did you guys stay motivated to just keep on building during the bear market? Like, what was the biggest motivator? That's my biggest thing, because I'm still in other projects. I'm like Internet Computer. I've been doing a lot of coverage of lately. There's not much NFT talk on that blockchain right now, but like Ethereum, there's a whole bunch of different ones. But like with you guys, how did you guys stay motivated? Like what like drove you guys to just keep building and going? Because it's huge. It's crazy.
So what the interesting part about it is I was just an investor during this time. So I was purchasing these NFTs, learning about the community, and obviously when you're invested in something, it's not like a pump my bags. It's I have belief in this project, so I'm going to recommend this to other people because like this is a crazy opportunity, and I feel like somebody can benefit from this like exceptionally. Mm-hmm. So this was just as an investor. So I was investing in it, and then it got to a point where they appreciated the support that I gave to them. So I don't know what the willpower was and what the strategy was behind the scenes, but I saw that they were pushing it forward. They did not stop, and that every one step back, they wanted to do the opposite and take the 2 steps forward. And you see that opposite with a lot of NFTs. Like they'll get hit in the mouth and then they'll fall back a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But with the SuperRareBears, they'd take the hit and they'd push harder, and they'd take the hit again and they'd push harder. So I was investing in them, and then they spoke with me on the sideline, and they were like, "Hey, we appreciate the support that you do, and we're looking for somebody that can be part of the team because they're anonymous." And
about to say
because I personally don't.
You're the only one that I ever hear of or talk. You're like the face of SuperRareBears. Like I don't know if they don't want to dox themselves, but like how big is the team? Can you give us like a rough estimate? Is it like under 10? Is it just like?
So it's less than 10. It's less than 10, and I want to say, so developer wise, we have like 2 or 3.
Okay.
And then you have me with the public service type representative, and then you have some community managers, and then we also have people that aren't officially part of the team, but they're the ambassadors basically.
Gotcha.
And so they're not officially part of the team, but they have that passion and dedication to the project, and they feel like it's part of the family. So hey, come on in, the more the merrier. So nice. This little team actually feels like much bigger of a team. Mm-hmm. And there's always help outside. Like there's projects that we have been helping, even with the staff that we have. We still offer help to other projects if they need help with coding, if they need help with a staking feature. Like our guys have broken their backs like trying to just keep and other projects alive and help them.
And that's what another thing I like. You guys are partnering with other NFT projects in the ecosystem just to like help them out, like what the Rec Nerds. Is Bloopies a part of you guys, or is that just a whole nother project? The Bloopies.
So Bloopies they are a whole different project, and they've been the first NFT project to use our launch pad.
Right. Okay. Is that talk about like the in the wallet staking thing that you guys have been doing?
So it's the active in wallet staking.
Yeah.
And so the idea of this is, people can form and they fall in this cycle of, I could just click this button, receive these tokens, and I'll come back to it again next week. And that seems very easy, and people love it. However, what's a way to reward people that have been doing their service to the community and have been pushing the word out to the community? They're the ones that are paying attention and care about the project that they're invested into. So the active in wallet staking is a way to keep them active as well. So if they participate with this, then they're receiving a bigger chunk of the pie opposed to those who are just collecting their rewards, which they still are.
That is a great idea. I've never heard of that in any other NFT project, because it's like, hey, every week, now look at this. I got a sticky note on my thing. Wednesday, 11 a.m. to Thursday, collect hype. I got it right here because I kept forgetting, and I was like, gosh darn it, I can't forget it. So I have it right here in my computer to just claim that every, between Wednesday 11 a.m. and Thursday 11 a.m. to do that.
That's awesome. That's
But yeah,
awesome.
I love it. Like I don't know any other NFT project. Anyone else that's listening or watching right now, write down in the comments. I'm curious, like, is there any in-wallet staking that you guys know that you manually have to remember? Because it is all about community. It's like you can have these big whales invest whatever stake and then forget about come back. Oh, I forgot I had this project on MultiversX. I got to claim my things. But if you're active in a good community, you're going to get rewarded for this. And then I like how you guys tweet out that, oh, there was this many people, it's going to carry over to the next week or something like that, right? Like you get more rewards if the people forget, but then take advantage of it.
We're very specific. So yeah, some of the tweets by the team, they're let's use the word exaggerated in the nicest way possible, but that's to give strict detail so people know exactly what they're dealing with. No, we don't want to hurt your brain with the words, but we want you guys to understand, what you're getting involved with, and so that maybe if other people have questions, they won't have to ask because it's the help from the outside that's explaining it to them. But we offer our help and we offer explanation to anyone. So if people have questions, they can get on the Discord or the Telegram or the X and ask us those questions, and they're going to be answered by the team or myself, whoever's possible. And we're 100% transparent with it too. You may not like the answer, but we're going to give it to you.
Yeah. And speaking of community, your most active, what would you say your most active social media is? Probably your Telegram, which I'm the least active on out of all my socials is Telegram. Like when I hopped on there and someone sent me like some rare just because I posted that, hey, I'm going live with you. And I was like, what is this? I had no idea. So I like collected it, but I don't know how to send it out type of thing. But I'm really not familiar with Telegram at all. But there's a lot of people and a lot of activity going on there. I popped onto your guys' Discord. It's a little bit more quiet, but there's still some people that seem pretty active on there. If you write something, they'll tend to reply within, an hour or so, or even that. But would you say Telegram probably is the most active for your community if you'd recommend?
I'd say it's a battle between Telegram and X, because what we'll do is we'll list that information in our announcements page, or our announcements group on Telegram, and then that's going to be shared on Twitter or vice versa. Whatever's hit first, it's being shared all through the networks. So one way or another, we're going to feed that same information across all the platforms.
Gotcha. And then another question is kind of like the demographics and where people are located that are invested into the project. I don't know if you guys have any analytics that you could share, but it seems to me that I would assume that the majority are like from Romania, because in the Telegram, it's like, oh, if anyone's still awake, Crypto Airborne's going live with Real Pro E-Gold, and it's been kind of quiet. So, because I think over there, it's like, 4 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning. I don't know what time it is, but it's
super early. Yeah.
So I'm curious, do you know like the demographics, like who's like what part of the world people are more where they're from that are invested, or what? Like, do you have any idea on that?
So I'm waking up at 5 o'clock or 4 or 5, maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm seeing that, man, I've missed 127 messages.
I've noticed that too.
Right. So I know that it's overseas compared to here, the States. So it's nice for a change that, I'm coordinating, a conversation with you during hours that are more suitable for me, because normally I have to wake up at like 2 or stay awake till 2. And that's just with interviews or phone conversations or video calls. Like it happens that way. And I feel that if a team doesn't have a hold of that and they can't kind of bend their schedules to work with that, then they're not doing everything they possibly can for their investors. That's the whole point of this. So that's what we're willing to do. If one of us can't do it, then somebody else is going to, and there's coverage around the clock.
I was about to say, who's like the Romanian Duncan? Is there someone that there is that is?
No, there's no Romanian Duncan, but I can say that, some seriously good and the information feeders are, Loki is a fantastic individual that feeds information at all times. The guy's covering down some way somehow. And of course, Grizzly and Bearzilla, they're super helpful, and they want to make sure that people know and that they understand. So sometimes it could be the context of how nobody can hear a tone behind text,
Right.
but our guys are answering questions, and maybe they're blunt or maybe they're a little forward about it. However, all cultures aren't similar, and these are guys that English isn't their primary language, so some words could be misunderstood, or sarcasm may not be picked up here or there. And just so people know that it's a fun-loving community. This team loves its entire community, and we don't want anyone to be misinformed.
Gotcha. This is a great transition into my next question, and I talked about this before we went live, and that's basically X Day. This was 2022, where you met Benjamin. How did it go this year? Who did you meet? Just I'm a big culture guy. I love traveling. Kind of like talk us through X Day. How was it? Like, what's the vibe like there? I have no clue. I would love to hear your experience on this.
So there's a few folks who I kind of came into Telegram and to crypto in general getting to know, and that seems to be the same core bunch that sticks together during these events, like during the off time of the event, because the event, it's hardcore, it's loaded full of information. Your tail is a bit numb from sitting in the seats for so long. You have speaker upon speaker upon speaker, but they give you breaks, and these are the times where you're networking and getting to meet people like Benjamin, who took a few moments, and I was able to speak with him this last time. And his brother Lucian, they both were walking out, and we kind of eyeballed each other, and they stopped me and pulled me to the side, and I tried showing off my SuperRareBears tattoo. They know that I'm the crazy nut job American that's traveling all this time.
I like your tie. I just noticed your tie is SuperRareBears.
Yes, sir. So
awesome.
A fun fact is this last X Day event, if the people were attending the event, I gave away a tie each day to somebody. So now they had something to go home with. The value of it's probably absolutely zero, but it's a fun gift, and they got something to take home.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I met Lucian and Benjamin this last time. I had a great conversation with Sever. We sat down at some stairs and held a good conversation. And then, of course, all the projects that were displayed, because they had these displayed showcase areas. I tried to do my best to stop by each of them and give them a little bit of undivided attention, because they're all there and they all made the trip and they're all working. So that I felt just as a community leader, not just of a project, but of this blockchain, that they deserve that respect and to let them know that they're doing a good job. And then I kind of did my thing and sat down on the tables. I have a terrible back, but I wanted to push as much merch out to people so that they had some fun stickers or keychains or something to go home with.
Did you get approached by a lot of people knowing who you were, or like the SuperRareBears? I'm sure if you're at that event, you have to know about SuperRareBears, right? Yeah,
and it never ceases to impress me. Like I'm so humble. Like there's people that know me, and they know the times that we have spoke, and this is just off of a computer. And when they bring these times up, I just appreciate it so much. So like you get to meet all these people all in one day, so it kind of gets scrambled up a bit, but everyone deserves that individual respect. So I just wanted to talk to them as much as possible, because they're from different countries and different places, and they speak so differently and intelligently, and you're trying to absorb all of that so that you also have something home that you could bring home that's special to you.
Was this your first? No, this probably was your second in real life event, right? Or crypto event.
Yes.
Like it's so much
Yeah.
bigger. I've only gone to like 2 or 3. As crazy as it is, like as a social media person or whatever, I've only
Mhm.
gone to like 2 or 3 actual crypto events, and I'm in the Philadelphia area, and I've gone to NFT Philly. That was kind of cool. There's a couple different events that they did, but other than that, there's really everything is just like this. Like me hosting events, like, but I don't ever get to when you do like meet people in real life, it's such an awesome experience. It's way different. And everyone pretty much that I've met so far is exactly the same as like if I'm talking to you like in person. Like nobody's been weird or awkward or anything like that.
Yeah,
Is that kind of like how you felt?
yeah, that is because it kind of felt like home, right? Anywhere you go to an event and there's people there that share that common bond or interest in something that you're, I don't know, either it's people are obsessed or interested or they have fun with it or they just it's their hobby. Like
Right.
when you bunch all these people up that have that same thing, like it's so natural and it feels so good. But like
Yeah.
I don't know. I could walk out to these streets here in California and people would look at me like I got something growing out my forehead. So
Yeah.
like,
They would I mean, it's such a small niche. It's insane. Like we're talking about MultiversX, cryptocurrency, SuperRareBears NFT project to the average normie person. Nobody knows, but like when you're so involved in this community and like this is kind of like your everyday thing, it's kind of an awesome thing when you actually get to meet these people at a real life event or something like that.
yeah, and I can say that, besides the folks that are out there scamming and doing the ill intent of misfortune to other folks, like there are some there's some extremely genuine people that are part of this community, and they have the kindest souls and the sweetest souls, and they are the most they they're the most rewarding is holding conversations with folks like this. So like I had quite a few people approach me, and yeah, man, that's the times where it's all smiles and you're enjoying that engagement, and you wish that there was just more time.
Right. And it was a what 3-day event, I think? 3, 4
Yes,
day event.
sir. It was a 3-day event. The first one was in 2022 in Paris, and this one was in Bucharest.
Okay. So out of all both those events, who stood out the most, like that you remember? Was there anyone unique or any person that you met that you were like, whoa?
So initially, and so when I went to the Paris X Day in 2022, the initial meeting, it felt like everybody kind of stood out. GRM came in or Jeremy came in and spoke to me. I got to see Jack in person and from Cyberpunk City and meeting the guys. Some of our French community members.
Mhm.
I actually got to meet them, and I'm like, man, I never talked to you. Why not? Let's
Yeah.
start talking. And that was the icebreaker, and I think that's what made everyone a bit more comfortable when we attended this event.
Okay. Nice. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's switch topics a little bit and talk a little bit more about the super rare bears like utility, the rare token. It's been taken off a lot, and I saw a tweet that someone posted. They're like, "Oh, well, it's been going downhill. It's time to pop." And then I think you quote retweeted. It was like, "No, it's because the community and everything that's been happening with all this new utility that's coming out with the bridge to Solana on one decks, like this insane stuff that's going
Sure,
on." So like
sure.
yeah, just talk a little bit about like the utility, maybe for random people that'll stumble across this video.
Yeah, so we're using this token in several different ways. So it could be used to purchase merchandise. It could be used to purchase NFTs. It could be used to accept as a token if you're wanting to, release your own project. You could release your own project and say, you know what, for 5,000 rare, you can mint, this NFT. This has been used as a DeFi token too. So if you're wanting to use it in a pool or a farm in Quantum X, you can. If you want to use it, we just released a new farm and a liquidity pool in One today. So those were two of our biggest announcements today. We kind of have a relatively big announcements every single day, but we did release a new pool and a liquid liquid pool and a farm today. So
Was
that
on one dex here, right? It was
mhm.
rare and one, or was there another one?
Rare and one is one of them, and rare and max is, I believe, the liquid pool. So you'd be receiving rewards on both of those. And through our budgeting, this is where we kind of gave the initial pool for people to collect rewards from, and then it kind of takes off from there the more people begin trading in this. So we're hoping that people show the interest in that, and they'll see these opportunities of rewards that they can get for providing liquidity per day.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the higher percentage rates that you could receive back, and the same goes for QuantumX. If you've been involved in MultiversX and you've been participating in the X Portal's meta bonding or the X Exchange's meta bonding feature,
Mm-hmm.
we have something similar called the barely bonding, and we're providing 16 tokens a day, opposed to meta bonding providing maybe 7 tokens once per week.
Is this it?
So,
the barely bonding? I don't really mess around with the farming stuff. I just do the pool stuff, but.
Yeah. So there's a lot of DeFi heads, and that's what they're looking into in the APRs, and what gives you the best interest rate, and how much are you trying to pool, and see, this is a way to obtain some of your favorite tokens and at a quicker pace. So that's one that we offer. We have multiple pools available in QuantumX, as well as multiple farms available.
Right.
That is, let me see the top of that real quick. Yeah, so these are the individual pools. So you can do a single token and provide liquidity with a single token, and you'll receive the rewards, which are on the right-hand side. So if you're staking your rare tokens in there, then you're receiving e-gold for that instance. And from QuantumX, you can claim your rewards daily if you would like to, or you can let it compound or just build and claim it maybe once a week or once a month. But it's going to be there for you. You've earned it by doing your staking, and it will be ready whenever you decide to claim.
So I just noticed here it says get a 20% boost when you stake a SRB NFT. Now, does it already know that if I'm staking one now, that it's going to be applied, or do you have to stake it within QuantumX? I'm kind of confused by that.
No, so you'll be staking it on Zosno, or some people it's XNO.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're staking your bears in there, the coding will read. It will show that off of QuantumX, it will register and show that you are staking a bear, and you will receive that 20% boost.
You just
on top of already what that interest rate is.
Is there a max that you can stake, or is it just you stake one, it's 20%, that's the max?
20% is the max, but you can stake as many as you'd like.
But if I'm staking like say 40 NFTs, am I going to get 800% boost? You know what I mean?
Well, you will receive a 20%. You'll be receiving a 20% interest off of the amount that you have staked.
Okay, gotcha. And then going back to this again, I know we talked about this before the stream.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a boost for 10 days. I don't know what happened to the tweet. And I don't know if the Telegram group, you guys, whoever's listening, but I thought there was like a rare to rare APR 10-day boost up to like 50%. And then there was like a rare to MultiversX boost, but it doesn't really reflect here. But I think you were saying before the stream that even though it shows it here, that on back end, I think you'll actually get that. But.
Sure. So what it shows on there, it's already configured, and if it's not showing the actual numbers of, say, yesterday you had 42%, and today we released and said, you know what, we're giving it a 10% boost, and it's not reflecting that on QuantumX's user interface, then come ask us the question, and we'll be sure to either address it, explain it, or have it corrected. QuantumX is in control of that aspect of showing it right there. However, the team, we have a direct connection with them, and we can speak to them immediately. And they're also monitoring our channel too. So if all we have to do is tag them, and they'll see what your question was, and they can explain it to you, whether if you want it public or if you want to speak to them more one-on-one, they'll do that as well.
Gotcha. All right. Let's talk about, this is one thing, I think we talked about this a while ago, the Abominators, and then your SRB, that ninja game that you guys recently had. And I know you did it a little while ago, and I actually participated in it. But
yeah,
how's that going? The Abominators, I don't know if I have the tweet pulled up here from Ryoshi. Shout out to Ryoshi if you're watching. I know you were real interested in this stream, but he recently posted, someone asked about the SRB Abominators. How can they be used? He says that you can stake it for 1.5 rare a day. They're still working on the collection, but once they are ready for mint, you'll be able to use the Abominator and one SRB to receive an Abominator NFT. So you got an update on that at all? Is that in the works soon?
Yeah. So we have conversations every day with the illustrator or the artist of this collection. So back before, we had a member of the team creating these. He was the artist of this collection. Some personal matters came up to where he could no longer continue with the team. So we wanted to let people know that, we've kind of hit some snags here and there that has slowed down the process. And there's been other priorities that kind of jumped in the way, and opportunities that we wanted to pursue. And we felt like that was best for the community. However, we understand that people have been here from the beginning and they've been wanting these. So we wanted to let them know that there are still plans to have it completed. We do have all the work that's progressed, saved, and we've already contacted an individual artist from a different NFT project to assist us with completing this collection. He's currently working on it. He's finishing up traits and finishing up designs. And even we released a teaser video not too long ago of some of the newer looks of some of these bears. So it's all still going to be in this collection, and we're hoping to have this done. Can't give an exact date, but we want it to be sooner than later because we've been promising this for the past 2 years, and we're not gonna beat the bush around about it and give false excuses. But it is being worked on, and it will be completed.
Gotcha. The other thing was, and sometimes, because I follow a couple different projects, but I try to keep up with this, and I'm not always up to date with everything. The portal thing where you can, like, what I'm talking about? What is it called? The portals, something with the portal thing that you can, like,
the Hypey portal.
Yeah, what's up with that? Is that active now or no?
It's not active yet. It's going to work kind of similar to how the Abominator is going to work. So the only difference is, so with the Abominators, you're going to send one of your SRB NFTs, and you're going to send the Abominator through the contract to us. What you'll receive is your SRB. We're going to burn the Abominator, and we will give you a random mint from the Abomination collection.
So that's going to be a whole separate new collection. That's going
to be a whole separate new collection. Now, with the Hypeys and the Hypey portals, the Hypey is it's a deflationary NFT project. So the total amount was 7,777, and we have been burning some of the NFTs that have been sold on the market, doing a buyback burn, or with these Hypey portals. What we're going to be using the Hypey portals as is you would send your Hypey and your Hypey portal through the contract. What the contract's going to do is it's going to burn that Hypey and burn that portal, and you'll get the new Hypey. It's called hyped as fuck, to be grammatically correct.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a hyped AF NFT.
Is that going to be another new separate collection on top of the regular?
That will be its own collection. So what that does?
Going to be?
What's that?
How many are they going to be, or does it just depend on how many people burn them to create?
Rough amount. I think it was something around a little over 3,000.
Okay.
But so basically, what comes out of that is that as these Hypeys are being sent through this portal, they're being burned, which makes this collection smaller, which makes the ones that you own that you have not transformed, they're more lucrative and more rare.
Gotcha. So I'm trying to think, like, with the new, like, when you burn the NFT and
Hmm.
you'll get the new one, so you'll have the Hypey, it'll be deflationary. Obviously the NFTs will go down, and then this new project, say only like 100 people do it. Does that mean it would be a rarer collection? There's only going to be 100 of the new collection available, so that'll be like
Yeah.
a separate on XNO, which you'll be able
Well,
to view and
it would
everything.
still be available down the road for other people if they decide to change their mind and send their Hypey through the portal.
Okay.
So if only 100 people do it, or with only 100 NFTs, then that collection's only the size of 100. But there's a max amount that can be transported,
Mm-hmm.
so it will never go above this number. However, it could settle lower.
Gotcha. Cool. So yeah, that kind of transition back and forth. Hype was going to be my next topic of discussion. How did that come about? Was that just a new project just to kind of bear market thing, or we got to be creative and think of something new to do, or was there any specific background about this that you could share? I'm curious how.
Yeah, so that came through with the idea of creating a meme coin on the blockchain, and one with utility, one that you could use that's sort of similar to Rare, except Rare is the backbone of our DeFi. We wanted to bring up the Hype token, and this is the kind of the nutty little jokester that is messing around with everybody. As you see, if you were to follow the Hype the Hype Twitter profile, you'll see how it posts like a good morning, and it's always jabbing at something or another. So
I saw this. This was funny.
Oh yeah. So Hypey, he's the mascot of this token, and this is where all the fun is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's picking at people. He's upsetting a few people. He's upsetted a few people in the past, and we just have to let people know that, this is just this character. It's not anything to upset anyone. He's just a trickster.
Nice. And when did you guys start this? This was a fairly new collection, right? That you guys started.
The Hypeys.
Yeah.
This was, I want to say it was roughly about 6 months ago, maybe a little longer.
Gotcha.
I don't know the exact release date of the Hypey collection.
Okay.
But the artist that we hired to have this collection done was Matt is Withdrawn, mm-hmm. who also has his own collection. It's the Duckers Reloaded.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a pop culture where every famous person is a duck. You have the Spice Ducks, and it's mm-hmm. just the Spice Girls with their own variant of being a duck themselves. Yeah. Ducky McQuackerson, or like he thought of insane names for each one of these characters that he's created. That's sort of a parody of a public figure.
Gotcha. Huh. So I have the website pulled up. This honestly is a little confusing to me. Like, I don't know if it's too, but I'm sure you know more about it than I do. But I'm trying to look, like, where does it start? Like, what's next for Hypey, for like Hype? Like, we kind of know, we already kind of talked a little bit about the portals and whatnot, but you got the portals going on, and like, what's this?
Yeah, this has been updated since. So it is slightly confusing as the road is kind of winding around, but I'd have to blow this up a little more so I can see it. There we go. So Hypetopia. So the Hypey collection, that's the official start, is with the Hypey collection, and that's supposed to kind of wind around. And then now we're working the cross chain, and we've going from cross chain. Then you have the 2024 bull run, which that's just a fun dig at what we're anticipating, what we're hoping for. Yeah. Then it kind of winds around to Hypetopia, and then I don't know the exact details to the Hypetopia, but that's sort of what we're working with. I do wish that I had an updated roadmap to give to you right now, but this was released with the initial release of the Hypey collection.
Gotcha. I mean, we're still early, so I mean, I'm sure a lot of this stuff can change as the bull run happens, and you get more liquidity and all that crazy stuff when bull runs kick off. But going back to cross chain, I did want to talk about that. And I know there were some speculative tweets out there about keep an eye on Hype and Hypey for cross chain. I'm assuming you guys are going to probably add that to One-Dex, and then maybe it's going to go over to Solana, just like Rare token is. But can you share anything else about the cross chain? And that's huge. That I was asking a lot of my subscribers and people that follow me, like, what other projects that you know about that have cross chain, meme coin capability like this? Like, there's nothing else, and this is going to be big. It's going to bring more liquidity into the project. It's going to bring more people from Solana. It could open the floodgates. So
yeah, it has all the likes too, and whether people are on board with that idea or not, that's sort of like what we have to kind of gauge and get a feel on. But we're committed to what we want, what we have promised to the community, and this is something that we've felt that it's a good move, and we want to kind of bring that attention back to MultiversX, share that attention with the respectful chain that we're trying to bridge to. That way that it kind of bonds the communities with one another. A lot of people are trying to get cross-chain talks and cross-chain conversations and spaces and video calls and of that nature. So yes, and kudos to them for being those pioneers that are trying to get this to work. But where's the commitment, and is it consistent? And that's something that we feel like we can provide.
Yeah, so we had a question from Alex a little earlier, kind of going along the same topic of discussion, but he said, what are SRB most excited about the bridge to Sol? Any plans to release a collection?
So the excitement going into Solana is more so we're excited for different eyes to kind of give the appreciation that we feel like we've already received from our community. Our community has done a fantastic job with hyping up what we believe is true work and what we put a lot of hard work into. And it would be kind of fun to show off and to showcase what we have been building to be basically that initial engagement with the community that kind of brings them onto this blockchain and goes, wow, there's a whole different world over here.
Yeah.
So I would say that that's what we're most excited about, is the introduction, and to get the kind of a community to community handshake involved right there, where we can become not just MultiversX, not just Solana, but more so a crypto community.
Yeah.
And now, as far as a collection over on Solana, there hasn't been any talks exactly to that quite yet. We have experimented with bridging NFTs, and we've had quests for people that if they did use this bridge and they sent the NFT was lost on the other edge of this, the other end of this bridge, and if they bought that from that blockchain and used that bridge to bring it back home, then they wouldn't only just have that NFT, but they would also be rewarded. So there's innovative ideas out there to get people to participate and to test out and to, kind of make this thing work.
Yeah, because I was about to say, like, what I'm just like even thinking, like, okay, you got the bridge, you're gonna do it. So what's next? Like, have you guys reached out to Solana NFT collections for new partnerships for this big cross-chain bridge that you guys are doing to kind of bring in people from that community into the Elrond community or your SRB community? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking, like, has anybody on the team reached out to any Solana? I know there's one guy that I know, he's a YouTuber. He does a bunch of Solana NFTs. He's a former military guy. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know he's huge into the NFT space in Solana. So I could talk to him about connecting you guys with whatever collections that he's into. Like, I don't really follow Solana, honestly. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, okay, we're going to bridge the rare token over to Solana via One-Dex. So I get it. It's a big deal. Yeah, you're going to have liquidity. You can have everyone trade. But how are you going to get that marketing, that exposure, other NFT projects on Solana oh, they're going to see this rare token and they're going to be like MultiversX, SRB. I don't know anything about this. Like, is there a PR push or a marketing campaign that is planned, or you guys kind of just throwing it out there and just going to kind of see what's happening and then you're going to go with it type of thing? And just
there's more behind it than what people may think, and that's sort of what we're working towards, and what you have to kind of scope the scenery before you make your selection. But there's people to talk to, and making that choice on what, who, and how you want to kind of bridge that relationship. That is what we're working with.
Gotcha. Does it look good?
Oh yeah.
Going along with that, is there any, like, what else that you can share, like upcoming things to get people excited about? Is there anything that we don't already know, or anything small you want to share with everybody?
No true teasers, just like per se. There is something that I'm really excited about, that we've kind of had a phone call. Well, I've had a phone call with a couple of prominent members of the community that may not even be investors per se, but people of a certain team that we may have spoke to, and a good conversation that's happened out of that, where we've already scheduled to talk again and get into more conversations next month. Their schedule's so packed up that I think that it's humbling, and it feels real good to know that they're making the time to speak with us again, and that they were the ones that requested it. So, let that be kind of a teaser to folks. I don't want to name anyone, but it's super exciting, and to be quite honest, I didn't think that that there was a possibility. So we'll see where the conversations go. Nice. But pretty much we have our business out there, and we've shown people, and now what we need to do is tie up our ends and keep our promises to our community, which we haven't failed on any of that just yet, and we don't intend to moving forward.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're coming up on 1 hour, so I'm going to end it here soon. But I do have one final question. And you guys have been absolutely killing it lately. Like, through the bear market, you got the bull run coming up. Things could get absolutely insane with this next year and a half. So are you guys prepared for just massive amounts of liquidity, massive amount of people? Like, it's just going to, I think everything's going to legit grow. Like, even within the MultiversX community, like, is SuperRareBears prepared? Like, do you have a plan? Like what you're going to do? Like, is there any future, like anything crazy that you guys have in the works for like the bull run? Like, if you had unlimited amounts of funds, like, is there any plans that you could share, just to kind of like a what if scenario?
Sure. So there's much more that we could do, obviously, if the liquidity was there. If we were if we were position number one, and the liquidity and our trades were providing more liquidity for the team, there's obviously more you can do with that. We've made the best options that we can with the liquidity that we have pulled in so far. Sometimes the ideas are there and they're kind of in the chamber, and it becomes if it gets to this point, then we can pull the trigger. But from this point, we can't, and this is what we got. So what can we do with it? What can we do with it to provide the best to our community? And our community likes rewards, and we've done our best to provide that to them, and we take big pride, a lot of pride, in being probably one of the most giving projects on this blockchain. So that is our nature, and that's who we are, and that's what we have been. So there's no point in changing that. But the idea of this becoming more popular and receiving more support like it has been, it's encouraging to know that this could grow to a point where we can start expanding a little more.
Yeah, definitely. I think everything's been grassroots. Like, you've been building through the bear market. The community is literally the best community that I've ever been a part of or seen. It's just, there's so much engagement, so much hype. It's kind of funny. Hype. Yeah. There's just so much hype around it. And like with the Solana bridge coming up, the bull run coming up, like there's not many other NFT projects that I can think of that I want to at least keep paying attention to, help promote whatever I can do as a small YouTuber, and just help us all grow as we go into this bull run.
Yeah, absolutely. And to kind of top it all, it's people like you that provide this time and give another form of a platform to speak to people about our project that we appreciate, because it's kind of someone recognizing us that we have already recognized, on our own as well. So we appreciate you dedicating your time. This is your personal time that you're getting into and providing to us. So thank you very much. And the way that you conduct these interviews is very genuine, very comfortable, and
that's always been my style, though. That's the thing. I'm just me.
Yeah.
I'm not like, there's some like YouTubers that are very like structured, like they don't really have a personality. I'm kind of a personal person. I'm myself. I don't really speak the best. I kind of stumble. I'll say weird like stuff. I'm just me. I think people like genuine authenticity. That's just how I've always been, type of thing. And I shoot straight from the hip. I'd like to keep things stupid simple. It's an old army term, and just document my journey. That's it.
Yeah. It's appreciated. It's appreciated, and nothing, not a single bit of this feels forced. So there's no character that I have to play. There's no preparation to where I feel like, okay, let's read over this list. Like, that's a big appreciation for what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. All right, guys, if you guys don't mind, smash that thumbs up button on your way out. Consider subscribing if you aren't, and turn on those bell notifications. Definitely appreciate you, Duncan, for coming on here. We got to do it again, or at least do like update videos every month or a couple months. I don't really care. New work schedule I got. I should be doing like Monday to Thursday, so I should have Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays off. So it'll be good, hopefully, for everyone who don't work on the weekends or whatever. But yeah, definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, and everyone else tuning in. And we definitely got to do this again.
Yeah, we'll talk more in the future, and I know my work schedule is pretty crazy too. So we can always work out something.
All right, man. Have a good night, and I'll talk to everyone later.
You too. Thank you.
Yep.